They say we know more about space than we do the ocean. And honestly, that's just one of the many reasons why the ocean is so terrifying. The sea isn't just blue and pretty. It's ancient, unpredictable, and hungry. And every culture that's ever looked at it too long has imagined something staring back. Tonight, we're diving deep into sea creatures from folklore, from seductive sirens to cosmic nightmares, that prove one simple truth. Humans have never trusted the ocean, and for good reason. Let's start with the one who doesn't need bait, because you're the meal. Before she was a monster, Scylla was gorgeous. And in mythology, that's usually the first red flag something's about to go horribly wrong. According to Greek mythology, Scylla was once a beautiful nymph until the sorceress Circe got jealous and cursed her into a multi-headed nightmare. 6 dog heads sprouting from her waist, each with rows of teeth, like a fashion statement designed by a fever dream. She lived in a narrow sea channel right across from Charybdis, the whirlpool monster. Basically, sailors had 2 choices: get chewed up by Scylla or sucked down by her neighbor. Odysseus tried the route and lost 6 men instantly. The lesson? In ancient Greece, GPS stood for good luck, pray to somebody. Scylla's story reminds us that jealousy ages badly, sometimes into an eldritch shrimp cocktail. From man-eating to man-luring, because the ocean doesn't just kill you, sometimes it flirts first. Everyone knows sirens sing sailors to their deaths, but few realize how old-school metal that story is. In the earliest myths, sirens weren't even mermaids. They were half bird, half woman, perching on cliffs, shrieking their songs like demonic pop stars. Over time, the bird legs got swapped for fishtails. Apparently, audiences preferred their nightmares wetter. Odysseus tied himself to the mast to hear their song, because some men would rather risk madness than miss a melody. But sirens represent something deeper than horny sailors, the danger of curiosity. The sea sings to us, but listening too closely might cost everything. Or, as Homer basically said, mute her playlist. Now let's leave the Greek coast and head somewhere colder, and much, much bigger. The Norse didn't just imagine monsters, they imagined an apocalypse. Enter Jörmungandr, the world serpent, a snake so massive it circles the entire earth and bites its own tail, which, first of all, impressive flexibility. He's the child of Loki, the god of chaos, and the sea is his crib. When he finally releases his tail, Ragnarok, the end of the world, begins. He'll rise from the depths, poison the skies, and fight Thor himself. They kill each other, of course, because Norse myths never end with, and then they hugged it out. Jörmungandr's whole existence is a reminder that even the gods have limits, and that nothing good ever comes from waking up the snake that circles the world. But maybe you prefer your sea monsters less divine and more tentacled. Ah yes, the Kraken, the original nautical horror story. Born from Scandinavian folklore, the Kraken was the reason sailors feared calm waters more than storms. The Kraken was said to be so enormous it could be mistaken for an island until it started moving. Sailors would anchor their ships, light fires, and suddenly realize the island was inhaling them. When it submerged, it dragged entire ships under with whirlpools strong enough to erase your family line. Of course, modern science eventually found giant squids, but the myth stuck around because squid sounds cute, and Kraken sounds like the reason therapy exists. It's still everywhere in pop culture because it's the perfect metaphor for the unknown. Massive, ancient, and probably offended you sailed here at all. Let's move from brute force to pure nightmare fuel, the creature that looks like the ocean tried to invent hell. From the Orkney Islands of Scotland comes a creature so disturbing it makes the Kraken look cuddly. The Nuckelavee is a fusion of horse and human, but without skin. Yeah, no skin. Just muscles, veins, and rage. Its human torso grows from a horse's back. Its breath brings plagues, and it cannot cross fresh water, because apparently even demons have limits. It emerges from the sea during winter, spreading disease and death. The only way to escape it was to cross a stream, as if the land itself refused to let the sea's monster pass. The Nuckelavee is what happens when the sea decides horror movies need more anatomy lessons. Need a breather? Too bad. Because next, the ocean gets clever. The Lyngbakr comes from Icelandic legend, a sea creature that pretends to be an island. Sailors land, set up camp, light a fire, and then the island moves. Down they go, straight into the sea's digestive system. Its name literally means heatherback, because it looked overgrown and cozy, the Airbnb of maritime doom. It's the perfect symbol for one of the ocean's oldest tricks, making danger look safe. And maybe that's why we keep getting pulled back to the sea. It's beautiful, right up until it isn't. Now let's wade into murkier, myth meets modern waters. The cult favorite of cosmic horror fans everywhere. Born in 1928 from the twisted imagination of H.P. Lovecraft, Cthulhu isn't folklore, it's evolution. He's the monster that made monsters modern. Half man, half dragon, half squid. Yes, that's too many halves, but math dies first in Lovecraft stories. Cthulhu sleeps in the sunken city of R'lyeh, waiting for the stars to align so he can rise again. People who dream of him go mad, worship him, or start podcasts about him, which might be the same thing. Cthulhu exists to prove one thing: the universe doesn't hate you, it simply doesn't notice you at all. Let's surface for a second with something softer. Emphasis on for a second. From Irish folklore comes the Merrow, the Celtic cousin of the mermaid. They wear a magical red cap that lets them travel between land and sea, lose it, and they're stuck on land forever. Which is tragic, because female Merrows are said to be beautiful, while male ones look like overcooked tuna. Some stories say they fall in love with humans, marry them, and live peacefully until the sea calls them back. They find their red cap, say, "Thanks for the memories," and dive home. It's melancholy, magical, and deeply Irish. Love that ends with longing and weather warnings. Speaking of love and tragedy, this next one hurts in a strangely romantic way. The Selkies are shapeshifters who shed their sealskins to become human. If a human steals that skin, the Selkie can't return to the sea. Which, let's be honest, is less fairy tale romance and more oceanic kidnapping. Most stories end the same. The Selkie finds her skin years later and vanishes back into the waves, leaving her human family behind. It's haunting, beautiful, and makes you wonder if maybe we're the monsters in this one. The sea doesn't always take what it wants by force. Sometimes it waits for you to let go. Now let's crank the weirdness all the way up to a creature that shouldn't exist, yet the internet insists it does. Meet the Ningen, Japan's most famous aquatic cryptid. First spotted by fishermen in Antarctic waters, it's described as a massive, white, faceless humanoid swimming beneath the ice. No mouth, no eyes, just a featureless, frozen expression of nope. Stories exploded online in the early 2000s. Blurry photos, strange sonar readings, forum debates. Some say it's an undiscovered whale species. Others say it's a government secret. Personally, I think it's just the ocean's way of saying, "Stop filming me." The Ningen is proof that folklore never dies. It just gets better Wi-Fi. And for our final descent into darkness, one last breathless plunge into the unknown. The Lusca comes from Caribbean folklore, part octopus, part shark, and 100% nightmare fuel. Said to live in the deep blue holes of the Bahamas, it's accused of dragging divers, swimmers, and boats straight into the abyss. Locals claim the tides themselves are caused by the Lusca breathing in and out, which is poetic until you realize you're standing on its lung. It's both a guardian and a predator, depending on who you ask. Either way, it's a reminder that the ocean isn't just water, it's a mouth. The ocean is our oldest mirror. We look into it and see beauty, chaos, and the parts of ourselves we'd rather not name. Every culture made monsters out of waves, because when you stare long enough into the deep, you start to realize it's staring back. So tell me, which of these creatures would you least want to meet beneath the waves? Or maybe, which one do you secretly believe is still out there? If you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, make sure you like this video and that you're subscribed to the Waxenvein Ledger, where we keep exploring the stories that surface when the world gets too quiet. Until next time, don't look too long into the ocean. You might see something looking back.